Yes, yes. We asked them to put this.
It's a music stand.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Okay, everyone, we would like to ask you to take your seats at the table you are assigned at so we can begin. Everyone, please take your seats at your table. And we're going to begin with a little musical entertainment.
Welcome, dear friends. So we'd like to start this gala dinner, this gala evening. So we invite you to sit down, because who will remain standing will not eat.
Will not eat. So we're going to do a couple of songs with a theme of what we think is really important today for leaders, for organizations, and that fits in with everything we've been talking about, and that is the theme of love. Love. Love is what the world needs, right? And so the first song goes back to the 1960s. And you all remember a group called the Beatles. Well, this is not by the Beatles, but my dad had the fortitude and maybe he didn't know what he was getting into, to buy tickets for me and my sister to go to the Beatles concert in their U.S. tour in 1964, not to give away age or anything like that. But I was so inspired by the Beatles that I wanted to become one. And no, that wasn't going to happen. But I did start a rock and roll band at the age of 16 and played in it until I was 19. And this song, Get Together, was the theme song of our group. It was our inspired song. We were inspired by it. It was by a group called the Youngbloods, and it was written in the 60s, and it's called Get Together. And when we get to the chorus, we're going to invite you to join in if you feel comfortable and if you kind of pick it up. Okay? So here we go. Get Together. Thank you. Love is but a song we sing, fears the way we die. You can make the mountains ring or make the angels cry. Know the bird is on the wings, you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try and love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we shall surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile one another, everybody get together, try and love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you shall understand. You hold the keys to love and fear, they're in your trembling hands. just one key unlocks them both. Each there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody gets together. Try and love one another right now. I said, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody gets together. Try and love one another right now. Right now. Right now. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, I can feel the energy in the room. Music, doesn't it create energy, you know? It's a great way to start an evening. So our second song about love is called The Way of Love. So the first song was about we need it. The second was how do you do it? Okay? Anything to add?
Nothing to add, just to sing. But we need Vince, I guess. Vince, where are you? Vince. There we go.
I wish you hear the song I sing and listen to the words so clear. A song of peace, a song of love, a song that everyone can sing along. I wish you walk along the road to make the whole wide world a place of peace, a place of love, a place where everyone can live as one. And so let's join our hands and sing aloud. Let's show the world, let's show them how, yeah, that the only way to make the world as one is to follow the way of love. I wish that all the wars could end, so peace could reign in our land. A time of hope, a time of love, a time of unity for everyone. I wish that all of us could learn to take the journey hand in hand, to live in peace, to live in love, to live for those who seek the way of love. And so let's join our hands and sing aloud. Let's show the world, let's show. Put your hands together now. That the only way to make the world as one is to follow the way of love. And so let's join our hands and sing aloud. Let's show the world, let's show them how, that the only way to make the world as one is to follow the way of love, is to follow the way of love, is to follow the way of love. Thank you. Thank you.
So, who would... Can you copy? No. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So who were these guys? Some professional performers or what?
No, they are Jim Fang from Indiana, USA, and Stano Lenz from Slovakia, Europe.
Wow.
Let's give them another round of applause.
Slovakia and USA together, I see. But did you know that the population of Slovakia is 5.4 million people population, similar to Singapore, no? And while in the States there are 331 million residents. If my math is right, that is 60 times bigger.
I remember Stano. Where's Stano now? Stano. Yes, Stano. I remember you said that in the Beijing Olympic 2022, you said that the men hockey tournament team, Slovakia, beat USA 3-2 in the quarterfinals. Is that right?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But I know the fact that connects them is that they both served as a chairman of Consulus Global Network. One in this current term and the other one term before. So what are they doing in that global network? Performing art, artists, music? What is it about?
No, they are part of Consulus. As you know, Consulus is a global innovation by design firm, serving leaders, companies, and cities in their transformation to shape a better world and to shape a better economy by design.
Okay, enough of our chat. I see all guests are here. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, dear friends, many of whom we can address also as our brothers and sisters from all over the world.
Welcome to the Shape the World Summit 2022 DesignFutures Keynote Dinner. We have a wonderful program lined up for you. One highlight is, of course, to celebrate the launch of DesignFutures, and not forgetting a variety of performance by Consulites from various countries. Something to look out for. Hey, we are not professional, performers, but we hope that by performing from our heart, we'll bring you some joy tonight.
First, please allow me to present my colleague Sharon from Singapore, who serves as head China and Creative Strategies. She has worked many years in China, was a senior leader in different companies from Europe, United States, and Asia.
Thank you. My co-host here traveled 9,796 kilometers, 12 hours by plane to be here. Let's welcome him. And he is from Croatia, if you can hear from his accent. Can you? In the Europe, of course. Hivoye is a senior business consultant devoted to enabling organization, technology, communication, and processes to serve people.
Sharon, I bet you don't know that there are some similarities between Singapore and Croatia.
Really?
Did you know that Croatian population is 3.8 million, almost 4, which is in a way close to the population of Singapore of 4.5 million people?
Wow. Yes, and I also know that there are some differences. For example, Croatia is a Mediterranean country, so living by the sea, wow, that's something I'm dreaming of. And you probably didn't know that the total coastline, Sorry, I was just doing a calculation. The total coastline of Singapore is 193 kilometers, But the total coastline in Croatia is 5,835 kilometers. That is 30 times bigger. I think all of us will sign up for the next trip there.
Thank you for promoting Croatia. So this means that it is worthy to come and visit this beautiful coastline. I hope the Ministry of Tourism will pay me something for this. And if I tell you that domestic beer in Croatia is almost 3 times cheaper than here in Singapore, I saw it with my eyes. Maybe we can organize Shape the World Summit next time in Croatia.
Yeah. Let's do that. That's why we are now going to invite Lawrence, our group CEO of Consulus, to give the opening address. And maybe you can mention Croatia trip in your address. Over to you, Lawrence.
Thank you. Okay, dearest friends, we consider all of you family. That's why you are invited. Huh? Yeah, if you're not our friend, you're not family, you're in the wrong room, right? So I think today we had an incredible summit. There were many stories, personal stories of resilience despite the difficulties. And this pandemic has been cruel. Cruel in the sense that it strips you out of your dignity. It actually displaces you mentally in many ways. And I think from today's sharing, I was so inspired and moved by all the speakers. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Today marks the 18th year of the founding of Consulus. And so we are very happy that you can join us in this moment. Many of you have walked with us, listened to our preaching, shape the world, what shape the world, And I remember when I started, one CEO told me, I want to do business. I don't want to change the world, can or not? And those were the early days when you talk about impact, you talk about inclusive economy, you fly over the head of many CEOs. But I must say, the CEOs in the room, the clients, you were the first ones who believed in us. So give yourself a round of applause. And every one of you, I remember the conversations, right? But still, it's not been easy because Consulus, as you know, we are very much influenced by the idealism, in a sense, of UNESCO Peace Prize Chiara Lubich. In 1991, when she flew to Brazil, seeing the extreme divide between the very rich and the poor, she felt that in Sao Paulo, it was like a crown of thorns. And she wondered whether there is a higher calling for business. And she challenged the 1,000 people who gathered to listen to her in Brazil at the time, many of them professionals, entrepreneurs, to say that there is a higher purpose for business. How can business also overcome poverty? But not just simply material poverty. She spoke about how to overcome poverty of relationship, because the first step towards denying a human person his or her right of existence is to remove him or her and treat the person as lesser being to yourself. So it's not about money. It's about identity. If you respect someone, if you care about someone, you will do something for that person. So that was the first and the hardest thing to do, because giving money is easy. But how can business be incubators, be a hub of communion? Communion as in shared burdens, shared hopes, shared concerns. And how many companies are living hells for their employees? In the 18 years of work that we have done, there are so many employees, and management also suffering. It's not always true that the staff are suffering. Management also suffering, because management actually want their team to work in unity. But politics, differences, aggravated tensions, make it stressful for CEOs to work for the well-being of their employees. So it's not an easy equation. Impact for the economy, But first, impact for the economy must start from people, must start from persons. So when we started, we thought that consultancy is automatically a business for good. Then we realized that when you grow bigger, it's hard to be good. It's profit margin. It's about sending 400 staff in some of the largest IT consulting firms, right? Outsourcing from by Facebook in order to check horrible images, putting their staff through mental health, right? Hell. So we cannot simply trust the largest organizations in the world to do good. And good is very hard to do, easier said than done. And today, many of the speakers, I think I was very moved when Melvin said his own journey. Well, it's easier said than done because it's expensive, it's costly. Costly in terms of human time, costly in terms of cost, right? So we have to go at the situation in a very systemic way. We try to do this by doing what we call an inclusive economic system, by influencing leaders, by helping companies and cities with their transformation, right? But real transformation, not transformation of a concept, not a theoretical transformation, but transformation from the hearts and with the business model to power it. So this has been our guiding compass. And over the years, with so many of you here throughout the world, and with so many Consulites that I've the pleasure and the grace to work with, we have done something, but it's not fast enough. It frustrates the hell out of me that this is very hard to hack, right? You can go on and on telling people, shape the world, and people will just look at you with blank faces, right? How do you do it? And I think over the years, what has been inspiring is we have an opportunity to work with many CEOs who also want to impact the world for good. So when I met Dr. Chris, and I wanted to become a priest, right? So because I wanted to be a priest, I'm not attracted by money, right? So money has no effect on me, right? And that frightens my business partner, Jeffrey, right? Because he comes from Hong Kong, and many a times I will say providence, God will provide, And our company is not all the same, right? We are different religious. Some people have no religion. But that is my driving force because I don't need money, right? That makes me a very powerful person, right? So I think that's how Chris and I, my dear brother Chris and my colleague, we connected, right? Because he has this wealth of capability, and there I have another kind of wealth. I have the wealth of purpose, right? We connected. And I think when I brought him to Rome, he asked me, what's this trip about? He said, I told him it's an economy of convenience. He said, what is the economy of convenience? What are you trying to do? Is this CSR? Is this, giving money and all this? No, it's not about giving money. It's about deciding with the heart, one step at a time, whether you want to change the economy for good. And he thought about it. He didn't answer me. Later on, he texted me, okay, I'll come with you to Rome. By the way, he shook the hands of Pope Francis, right? So that was incredible, right? A lot of people try to go to Rome, they can only see Pope Francis from far. You have 100,000 people, and there he was in the front row shaking the hands of Pope Francis, right? Quite incredible. But something happened in that meeting in 2017. Many of us in that conference, the Economy of Convenience Conference, we have been working for good. We have been trying to do our best to, kind of like shift the world one step at a time forward, right? To do something great. But Pope Francis said, the economy of communion, if it wants to be faithful to the charism, must not only care for the victims, but build a system, right? Where there are fewer victims, where possibly there may no longer be any, right? As long as the economy still produces one victim and there is still a discarded person, communion has not yet been achieved, right? The celebration of a universal fraternity is not full, right? And therefore we must work towards changing the rules of the games of the social economic system. Imitating the Good Samaritan of the gospel is not enough. Now, you must understand, for those who may not be familiar with the Christian scripture, in the Christian scripture, the Good Samaritan is held up as the standard of giving and sacrifice. And to hear your leader say, Good Samaritan is not enough. Helping people is not good enough. You must change the system. Then I was so shocked because I thought wrong translation, because we were listening to 30 over languages, So I said, it is right. And I think that moment, Dato' Chris and myself and a few of us, we looked at each other and say, what can we do? And I was so glad that, Chris, in his way, he felt called, in a sense, to do this in Sarawak. I mean, we cannot do everything. We cannot try to change everything, but we can do where we are to achieve the greatest impact. So that was really exciting, but we still do not know what to do, because sometimes you say, hey, let's start. Go where? Do what? Right? And all these things, right? But we kept that dream alive, right? And so I was sharing with Chris that what I learned from consulting, the biggest problem in change management is the poverty of trust. You will have a room of people full of talents, but because there are no trust, nothing can happen. It is not a lack of ideas. In fact, there was a study done about PhD papers, All those people with permanent head damage, sorry. But they do so well, they write fantastic papers. There was a study that shows that only 1% of the best ideas in the world are actually implemented. So that's a running joke among, I know some of us are in the smart city business, right? Smart cities? Actually, it's not that smart because it cannot be implemented. Because sometimes it's too smart. I don't know how to implement it, right? So those of us in the trade, you know what I mean, right? So first problem, poverty of trust. Easy to talk, easy to wish for, impossible to do. Second reason, our institutions are not upgraded. Janet gave an inspiring call to action just now, and I want to thank Janet. She just recovered from COVID, and she's here with us. Thanks, Janet. Janet gave us a resounding call because she called this the new normal. What's the problem with the new normal? The war in Ukraine is a proof that institutions are failing. That's why we can't even agree. We can't even move. And this is another problem that we have, poverty of institutions. And lastly, it's the poverty of solutions, applicable solutions, not theoretical solutions. So when we invited all of you to come and join us for the summit, and we talk about future resilience by design, if I could rewrite the title of future resilience by design, I would say, will humanity have a future? It won't, Elon Musk talk about going to Mars. Somebody joked, maybe we don't need to go to Mars, there's no more planet Earth. Don't need to go anymore, there's no one, right? And I fear for my daughter. My daughter is growing up, she's 6 years old. Every other day she asks me, Daddy, why you work so hard? Can you don't work so hard? Can you don't travel? And I said, Natalia, I'm trying to fight for a better world for you because I'm scared for your future. And I always joke with her, whenever she wastes water, right? Next time your generation have no more water, you have to mine water from the moon. Right? No water. All the waters are polluted. Right? So if we talk about the 4 C's, the 4 C's is critical. Will humanity have a future? Will humanity have a cause to fight for? What is the cause? Our common humanity, our shared humanity. Enough of idealism. We have to get real when we have a humanity to work towards. Then the second thing, how can we reconcile? How can we see each other with new eyes that we are humanity together? How can we build a culture of trust? And then, how can we have a creative vision together? There's all this talk about Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0. The word industry is a horrible word. Horrible word. We are not made for industries. It should be humanity 4.0, humanity 5.0. It should be love 4.0. Right? So I always find it a very terrible struggle when I deal with this word as a consultant, myself. Right? But I know who set the rules of the game, right? McKinsey. Right? So you have to admit that it's hard. And you need to work with friends and partners whom you have the trust in order to have a pivot to change the world. That's why we need to do this project, DesignFutures Venture. I have been a consultant right now for 20 years, and I've served Consulus as CEO for 18 years, but I didn't do this alone. And at this moment, I want to ask the entire Consulus team in the room to stand up, because I want to thank all of you. Can all the Consulites stand up wherever you are? I want to thank you for all the years of the support you have given me, and I'm sure Consulus will continue to go on for another 100 years. Thank you very much. Now, I can tell you the problem of being a consultant. If you're a consultant, you're looking at the client to see whether they will actually implement the ideas. And you're staring at the client. You're going like, this is important, this is time sensitive, this needs to get done, right? And you have to be very mindful of your position as a consultant because you cannot go in and intervene in the business. So you have to be very mindful of that distance that you have. So what happens is that if you're always caught up with the role of advisory, then really nothing's get done, right? So you have to, roll up your sleeve and get involved. And so DesignFutures Venture is a vision by Dr. Chris and myself. We talked about it for over the year. Somehow the pandemic gives you a new sense of purpose. I don't know how many of you have rediscovered your purpose during the pandemic, but my moment of reviewing my own vocation and purpose came during the pandemic and in the conversations I have with Dr. Chris. So what are we looking at? We are looking at there is a unique opportunity between Singapore and Sarawak. By the way, my Sarawakian friends always remind me, hey, Singapore, don't forget, it is Singapore, Sabah, Sarawak, and Malaya that founded Malaysia, right? But then, you all ran away first. Lucky you! No. The Sarawakians are very proud Malaysians as well, right? But the Sarawakian identity is rising, yeah? So that's the very, very interesting thing. There's a special bond between the two states, right? Between Singapore and Sarawak. So what is the other great opportunity? Singapore is now the hub for great talent, great capital. We are a safe haven in this moment of the crisis that's going on. And Sarawak has this great land of opportunities. It's about the combination of the best of two. Now, more than that, if we want to prove the concept of the economy of communion, that it can work, it can be realized, then I would argue that Singapore and Sarawak is a very good place to try and make it work in a very holistic way. We are not claiming we have all the solutions. We are not claiming we can do everything. That's why we invited all of you. We hope that all of you will be our friends on this journey, right? In order to show that it is possible to work for a better humanity. It is possible to work for a better economy by design. So why did we come up with FEDS? We looked at FEDS for food. Why? Because there is a serious food crisis, but more than that, this food crisis has been going on for some time. And again, if we are talking about humanity, because you can go on and on talking about climate change or whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's about humanity. What can we do for the many sons and daughters who do not have the opportunity to have a proper meal? Then the second thing, environment is a given. But more than that, how can we ensure that the environment is affordable? Many of us know environmental projects, climate change projects, they are very fancy, they are wonderful, but they cost a bomb to implement, and they require serious financing. Singapore, we are very blessed. We have a government that is willing to follow through with the green plan, and it's real. At policy level, at financing level, it's a complete plan. But not many countries have this possibility. Now, Singapore should not be the only place in this region to survive the climate crisis. We have an obligation as Singaporeans to our region to work with our friends and partners to enable all to overcome the climate crisis. Right? So this is a very important responsibility. Then the next thing, with data. I think data is an overused word. A lot of people say data, but they don't know what they're talking about because there are increasingly, we are talking about layers, sophistication, right? And how to properly manage the use of data. And that's an area that is critical for better employment opportunities because if we don't create opportunities for the young, we will lose them, right? So that is another thing. Lastly, for outer space, if we want to not keep mining the earth, if we want to make sure that we have other possibilities to manage our resources, then the growing space industry is very critical. Singapore has a thriving space industry. For sure, Sarawak can benefit from the know-how in order to grow its capability and capacity. So in order to do this, in order to accelerate, what I foresee is this. The work of Consulus is involved in trying to solve the poverty of trust, building better cultures, is trying to solve the poverty of institutions by working on transformation. DesignFutures venture, the new business venture by Dr. Chris and myself, will be focusing on financing the solutions. It's an investment holding company. And I want to say that in 4 years' time, I will step down from Consulus. The team is ready. We have begun the process. Very Singaporean style. Huh? Before you step down, you must announce way in advance. Yeah? You cannot last minute, right? So we bring the Singaporean culture, and this is the same advice I give to my clients. Plan ahead your succession, right? So I'm also here to announce that in 4 years' time, I will step down from Consulus, and we have already begun the search committee and the process. And I hope you will give your continued support to my team at Consulus. That will mean a lot to me, but I will remain as a consultant mentor. I will not leave consulting. I will be in different meetings, and probably I can be more provocative and say things to irritate people because I'm no longer the CEO of Consulus. So as the consultant mentor, I can say what is in my heart, right? To tell people to face up to the moment of truth. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not stepping down yet. So don't worry. 4 years time, right? So with Dr. Chris, we will work very hard to build DesignFutures Venture to impact and accelerate projects. So now it gives me great joy and pleasure to welcome my brother, Dr. Chris, to share his vision. Dato'.
It's great to be back to Singapore after a 2 years break, and it's great to take off those masks and so we can gather together. And yeah, thank you, Lawrence, for giving me the opportunity to come back here and then to share with you. So good evening, friends. I'm very glad to be here with you in Singapore as we launch our journey in DesignFutures Ventures. As Lawrence has mentioned, change is very hard, and real change requires purpose, consistency, and strategic steps, or else it will not happen. I believe this is where Sarawak can be a valuable strategic partner to Singapore. It always surprised me that Singapore is so near to Sarawak, yet all of you probably know more about Thailand, but not Sarawak. So let me take this opportunity to tell you more about Sarawak, and more precisely, Kuching, the state capital of Sarawak. We have very much to offer, including our local food, such as kolomi and Sarawak laksa. It's very well known. Now, even some Singapore, the hawker chain here is going to Sarawak to take the recipe here in Sarawak to come to Singapore, trying to sell it here. So Sarawak is a very large state, and it's as large as the entire Peninsula Malaysia, which most of you know, and is half the size of New Zealand. We have a population of only 2.6 million. It is a land of wealth, and in terms of cultural diversity and biodiversity. While Sarawak is large, the focus has always been on traditional economic sectors such as timber, oil and gas, and among others. It is only in recent 3 years that we have begun to emphasize on the importance of advanced industry and such as technology and research and innovations. TSG group of companies in Sarawak, we have about 800 staff across the state involving in sustainability projects, real estate experience and development, infrastructure development, and new economy investment. Our aim is to be the implementation partner of the acceleration of Sarawak growth towards the new economy. I met Lawrence and his team from Consulus through my years in real estate business, which is Paradise. And this afternoon, Luna, my colleagues, and Jeremy has also shared a lot about Paradise, which I will not repeat it here. After we implemented the approach of Paradise with purpose, and by design, the entire townships, the entire place actually has flourished, and we have many people that is coming from all walks of life in Sarawak coming to the developments. So young people came, entrepreneurs came, innovators came. Today, Paradise is a destination for the youth and the community to gather and create opportunities in an exceptional place that celebrates all things Sarawaks in a world-class setting. The standard of the place also makes a difference. My teams at Paradise implemented an entire system that makes sure every part of the experience in this idea of Sarawakian identity, ecology, and the arts. As we say that we are, there's many developers in Sarawak or in any way. I think most people is focusing on building, I think selling, and I think Paradise is more focusing on, we're actually building home, we're building a community. I think that's a part that we're making a difference in what Paradise is doing now. And it is because also we believe in having a purpose in a meaning in our project. Through that uniqueness, we are able to offer the very best experience to everyone. In fact, when the Premier of Sarawak came to launch our townships in 2018, I was so proud when he said, quoted, if Singapore has MBS, then Sarawak has Paradise. Our vision is not tall, gleaming towers, buildings, but an attractive experience formed by the hearts and the minds of Sarawakians. So beyond this, I've been looking at what kind of sustainability business we can get involved in. So sustainability is a costly endeavor. We need to find a business model that can sustain over time, positive impact on the environment, and give a future to the young. In Sarawak, the timber industry has always been a major economic sector, where the planting of trees has not been given the attention as it is usually troublesome, and because of the gene species they're planting, and it has not been successful. So not many people is actually wanting to plant. So the sustainability project I have identified today, and which I announce it now, is called the Future Trees, which we're happy to announce now. In TSG, we have a business in Sarawak called TSG Green. We're a lab that focuses on cultivating tissue culture to produce RT Polonia clones. These clones, once planted, will go on to become RT Polonia trees, also known as future trees. This unique tree species has many possibilities, and being a local breed variant is adapted to a local tropical climate. It is one of the fastest growing trees in the world. And it is a very high quality timber with very fine grain. It can grow up to 50 feet tall and harvested as early as 3 years. The remaining, and another beauty of the tree is once you cut the tree, and after you cut, the tree stump will regenerate from there, and it can be regrown, regenerate up to 6 cycles. The RT Polonia is not an invasive species. Through a thorough process taken in the lab, we make sure this variant is thorough and does not produce flowers or seeds. It will not cause any adverse impact on our existing forestry system. This is very much in line with our vision to impact a better future which not disturbing our biodiversity. You are wondering why Polonia? Why Polonia? You know, why these 3 species? So some 8 years ago, as we started to bring in Polonia species from China, from Spain, from Germany, from US, and from Australia, to be planted in Malaysia, all these 3 species actually, they grow and they grow well until the month 7 or month 8. And somehow they stop growing and they began to die. So these 3 species retain the memories of the 4 seasons from their origins. And after a series of failure and on the verge of giving up, we then brought in a Polonia from Japan. Without much hope for success, we planted 20,000 trees species, and at month 7, after planting these 20,000 tree species, all the 3 died, except 5 actually survived. And these 3 managed to continue growing and has adapted to the local weather, and until today, they are all 8 years old. So these are the trees. Okay, then we began doing the tissue culture from these remaining 5 trees that survived from the plant. I feel that we are very blessed as all these trees has actually survived and thrived very well. And with this, it inspired us to start the lab with tissue culture. Due to the lack of land in Peninsular Malaysia, we have brought this lab to Sarawak to scale up our operation as there are plenty of unused land to be planted. Okay, the balance of it, I hope it doesn't bore you, I go a bit technical. What is Polonia and why Polonia also? Okay, there are 3 pillars of sustainability for planting Polonia. The first one is environmental sustainability. So again, I want to emphasize here, it is not easy to plant in Sarawak, to find the right balance, as we need to balance, we have challenges, we need to have dialogues with the local community to understand how we can work together to plant all these trees. And involving them, the inclusiveness of them in the economic growth. So in terms of environmental sustainability, the Malaysian government and the Sarawak government can see that this pollen tree is a solution for global climate change. From the 12 Malaysia plan, the federal government will be introducing economical instruments such as carbon pricing, carbon tax, and in the effort to achieve carbon neutral status by 2050. The RT Polonia tree, or the future trees, is truly a feasible way of making a positive impact to the climate change. It is recognized as a carbon sink and is able to efficiently and effectively absorb greenhouse gases. And on average, RT Polonia tree planted in 1 acre of land can produce 103 metric tons of carbon dioxide. Can absorb 103 metric tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And this is 10 times more than a normal tree, which is between 1.1 ton to 9.5 tons. And what I say is not what I say, it's actually reported in Bloomberg in 2019. From the economic sustainability viewpoint, the RT Polonia represents an extremely viable option as it is fast growing and it can be harvested within 3 years. So it represents, with that, it is giving a very good ROI, and with a proof of concept and immediate readiness for scale-up operation, we intend to sell and supply the future tree to this furniture manufacturer, construction companies, so that they will not need to take timber from the virgin forest or the protected forestry. We have mastered the tissue culture, this biotechnology, and our tissue culture lab currently has a capacity to produce an average of 1.8 million clones annually. and this is equal to 1.8 million trees a year. So RT Paulownia wood is considered lightweight wood from the hardwood category. It has high durability, and it has a very high fresh point, so it's resistant to moisture, and it can be used for fire door, and it can be used for guitar, it can be used for surfing board, and it can be used for plywood and so on. So these remarkable qualities of RT Paulownia is very ideal for downstream segment from, as I said, with the interior decorations and many more other possibilities. The fine grain and the wide appeal of RT Paulownia give rise not only to potential market, the local potential market, but also to international markets such as Singapore, Japan, Korea, North America, Europe, and Australia. Not North Korea. Yeah. Okay. The upstream segment can explore the possibility offered by the RT Paulownia. Being fast-growing and ability to regenerate over 6 cycles, it represents a very attractive ROI, which is sustainable over long term. To date, it is one of the Malaysian timber industry 11 approved tree species. From the socio-economic perspective, local Sarawakian also have the option to plant the RT Paulownia trees. Whether you have 5 acres, 10 acres land, idling land, you can actually plant all those land, because this is a very practical alternative, and it can be an alternative to existing crops like palm oil. Our effort in this sustainability project has been fully welcomed and endorsed by our Premier Sarawak, and we invited him for the launch of TSG Green late last year. He was quoted as saying, again, quoted from him, the local breed variant, which is Paulownia, is proven to be adapting well in our tropical climate. Hence, we can plant it in our degraded forests to ensure sustainability of the raw material for various industry and timber downstream activity. If the price of the timber is not too high, we can consider using it to build and support our various affordable housing projects. TSG Green will collaborate with prospective partners and the local community to share the knowledge of planting and caring of RT Paulownia. This is to ensure optimum yield and quality can be attained and add value to the idle land and generate handsome income for the landowners. So TSG Green is hopeful of making a meaningful contribution to the Sarawak government initiative of planting 35 million trees by 2025. We aspire that perhaps 10% of the licensed planted forests can be planted with RT Paulownia. And our tissue culture lab is ready to produce 3.6 million explants in the next 2 years, and many more with ever-increasing capacity. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce the planting of 1 million future trees. And if you are interested to be part of this project, please talk to Lawrence, DesignFutures, and I hope all of you can join us on this journey to shape a better future by design. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the first project that we will launch tonight. So you heard about the 1 million trees, and we'll be looking to accelerate the planting of the trees in Sarawak, because there's a lot of degraded land. The topsoil is gone, for those of you who are very familiar. So the trees will actually hold the topsoil and rejuvenate vast tracts of land that have been degraded due to the abuse. There's something else. Because DesignFutures is about FEDS, as I mentioned, right? So one is about the food crisis. The second is about the environment. Now, there are so many amazing startups in Singapore. And as we were building and evaluating how to begin with DesignFutures, Dr. Chris and myself and the Consulus team, we reviewed many startups with their capacity, with their ability. And I'm glad tonight, after a long shortlisting process, we found a great one, right? And we are very excited to announce that we will be investing 250,000 into this startup. And I'll let the CEO come up and tell his story. You've heard him speak earlier. And more than that, other than this investment, TSG Group in Sarawak, led by Dr. Chris and his amazing team here. And by the way, we have the Sarawak table. Can we have the Sarawak friends all stand up? Welcome. Yeah. Yeah. So with the bookend capabilities from Singapore and Sarawak, the TSG Group will help to power this startup to do the work that, and today the founder, right, said about aiming for a higher vision. And I'm so proud to welcome Sean on the stage to tell us about this great plan and this partnership. Sean, please.
Hi everyone, I'm back again. So I hope you enjoyed my interesting story that I shared just now earlier, right? So I was told by my PR team, this will be a formal setting, so I don't really have a story to tell, but I have a formal script right now, right? But let me introduce you with some facts about the black soldier fly, right? Or the insect which I'm farming, which I didn't share earlier, right? And I thought, just now Dr. Chris was asking for people who are asking to sign up for the project. I think we are the first, right, to say that we're interested to partner with you for the project, right? So 1 million trees, right, and hopefully 10 more million to go, right? Thank you. Right. So I have to read through the script, right? So as Lawrence mentioned at the beginning of this intro, we're definitely very humbled and excited, to announce the recent investment, by DesignFutures and TSG Group, right? So this investment will create significant and systemic value for both Sarawak and Singapore, right? And I think this will happen in 3 ways, right? Firstly, we are supporting the 1 million trees initiative in Sarawak, and this initiative will definitely create and transform Sarawak into a greener economy. The byproduct from our insect rearing process, as I mentioned earlier, we use food waste to feed the insects. And if you think about it, in the natural cycle of things, all these forests that we have in Southeast Asia, they're also fertile. And the reason being, insects are actually the ones that contribute to this fertility, right? If you think about it, I mean, all this waste that is being created, in the forest, right? If you think about it, the durians drop on the floor, the fruits drop on the floor, right? How does it go back to the soil? It's through insects breaking down all these nutrients, right? And this goes back to the soil biodiversity, right? And similarly, what we're trying to do here is we collect food waste or even waste products from the agri byproducts that is being created in the process, and we feed it to the insects. And through that, we create fertile soil, which is what we call insect fresh, right? And again, what we are doing here in Singapore, we are doing a lot of R&D on how we can use this fresh to adapt into different soil environments. And of course, through this partnership, we're looking to fertilize, Sarawak land with the insects that we are rearing in Sarawak itself. So that's the first point. The second point, this relationship that we have, consists not just between both parties, but actually the governments, the R&D players that we're working with, all the different stakeholders, the farmers down there in Sarawak, the researchers in Singapore, and also in Sarawak, and this will actually allow for a very good, effective collaboration in tackling major sustainability issues in Sarawak. Right? If you think about what Lawrence mentioned, it's all about trust, right? Dr. Chris also mentioned about trust, right? And a lot of projects, have to start with something, right? And I'm very glad that this investment came in because it's a major milestone or leap forward for us as a small startup into an overseas country, into overseas place that, honestly, if you tell me 10 years ago was Sarawak or Kuching, I wouldn't have heard of it. I probably would have known about Bangkok more, right? Right, so I need to know more about kolomi. When I was in Sarawak the last month, every day we're eating kolomi. Yeah. So one of my colleagues here, is a kolomi king. Every meal we'll eat kolomi, right? So there's really a lot of noodles, and there was this, I think, very special vegetable that's only farmed there, right? So very interesting food, but yet also that's where we say that there's actually a lot of ways to collaborate on, not just on food security, right, but on major sustainability issues. And I think in Sarawak, there's a lot of talks about, energy exportation to Singapore and stuff like that. So our facility in Sarawak, which we will build in the next 6 to 12 months, will also create higher value jobs for local communities, right? So that's what we aim for, creating good jobs through the green economy that we're creating. And lastly, the third point I want to share is, this exclusive partnership with TSG will position us as the leading palm oil waste management partner in Sarawak, right? So besides the food waste that we do here in Singapore, there are a lot of waste that you don't see, that ends up, in landfills, right? And I think for many primary agricultural economies, palm oil waste is a big problem, right? Everyone's talking about the sustainability of it, and this is where we come in, to actually look at effective palm oil management to reduce landfill waste and carbon emissions. So we are playing a key role in the transition from this palm oil industry to net zero emissions, right? So definitely a lot of work to go, and this is only the beginning, right? Hopefully, in the next year, when we come back, maybe, we can have more projects, more exciting, updates in time to come, right? So I'd like to take this chance to thank Lawrence, Dr. Chris, and the Consulus team, and also Dylan, when we met, and for bringing us around to really see the whole potential that we in Sarawak, right? So with that, I also want to thank my team here who came all the way down. So we are a small team. Maybe you guys can make yourself well known and stand up. Right. I have the Insect Feed Technologies team. Yeah. So they are busy eating because they are a bit hungry. The whole day they never eat. They're preparing for this event, right? So yeah. So thank you once again. Look forward to more events. Thank you.
Yeah. So we are very excited about this investment and this partnership with Insect Feed, and we see that for Borneo itself is a very unique opportunity for Borneo. You know that the Indonesian government is moving its capital to Kalimantan, and coincidentally, Consulus' early years growth was all in Borneo. We did the National Bank of Brunei, we did the National Telco of Brunei. We were practically living in Borneo for a period of time. Every other week we were flying into Brunei, and then every other week later we were flying into Kuching, right? So somehow Borneo and us click very well. That's not all. Now, every single day, every single minute as you use your phone, you are consuming data. And that data, whatever you produce, has to sit somewhere. And there are not enough data centers, but worst, data centers are actually contributing to the degradation of our planet. But easier said than done. It's not easy to have data centers that are renewable, sustainable, right? Because it's a very complex move. And when we were looking at this opportunity, the Sarawak government says that it wants to power the economy, right, towards sustainability. But again, easier said than done. So I had to ask my dear friend, who was a client, and a lot of clients all become partners, right? So that's how it works in Consulus. And he is a client I really admired because we worked together in the transformation of his company, an incredibly talented company with a wide variety of expertise. And you heard from him just now. And I like him to share with you because the reason why I asked Melvin for his advice and for his partnership was because it's not because he knows everything, but he is someone who has the determination. If he doesn't know, he'll tell you he doesn't know, but he can bring an alliance of people together. And we can't do that, right? So, and he does it with so much realism. I remember when I worked with Melvin, he always challenged me. It's not about the idea. It's how are you going to do it? And how well can you pull it off, right? And I'm so glad that I can call Melvin, my brother and a friend, to come and share with us because we're going to work with Cyclec to talk about green data centers in Sarawak. Melvin, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone, again. Good evening. You're hearing me for the second time today. But for this moment, we are talking about a different topic as I shared earlier. Just now I was talking about power generation, ESG. And right now, I guess I'm so honored to be invited to be part of this team with TSG, with Dr. Chris, looking at, and also Consulus, about green data centers. You see, with each day, with each second, the amount of data we consume is just staggering. And this is still exponential in its growth. And even more so going forward with smart cities, with IoT, Industry 4.0, your much hated word, but that would also continue to accelerate the data consumption, AGVs. So it's just going to flood the whole industry. And with this consumption, what happens is that the amount of power it requires is so tremendous. And in Singapore, if I'm not wrong, this data I need to go re-vet again, but from an article is written, 7% of our energy goes to data centers in Singapore. It is a very, very large number. Up to the point where Singapore has imposed a moratorium, as in we are not going to build any more data centers here for a while until we find a good balance between finding renewable energy as well as the demand for data centers. How do we balance this? This is the question that needs to be asked. And so data centers need to balance these things, right? You need to maximize, for data centers, you need to maximize the energy efficiency, and you need to minimize the environmental impact. Singapore has always been dependent on fossil fuels. So we are literally throwing CO2 in the market to power our devices so that we can send our WhatsApp message or watch our next YouTube video. So with this big challenge for Singapore, if we look to the east, we don't need to look too far, and Sarawak is one venue, one location. If you look at Sarawak, their power, the country is literally run by renewables. The gravity powers the country, gravity. Because water, hydropower, is basically a use of water, the forces of nature, right? Gravity to convert kinetic energy into electrical energy. And 60% of it comes from that. And they still have lots to spare. Moreover, energy costs in Sarawak is not a very high, it's not very high. And in fact, it's actually very low. And the amount of land that they have, and on top of that, they have a great government that has the foresight to build data pipes to many countries. As a result, I think it is a very good destination for data center investments. So, and for the last 80 years, Cyclec has been an engineering provider. We do all sorts of stuff. We started in the marine sector, we repaired ships, we did electric motors. So it was electrical company. But over these years, after serving so many industries, on top of the energy business we're doing, we have looked at data centers for quite a while. So we build, we operate, we maintain for various large organizations and data centers. And as a selected partner, we are very proud to be associated and in collaboration with DesignFutures Ventures to develop green data centers in Sarawak. So we believe that this will provide the diversity for business in Sarawak as well. It's an opportunity for community. It's an opportunity for society to uplift itself, even more so in Sarawak. So I'm very glad to be part of this evening and wish everybody a wonderful night ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Melvin. So we are very excited to be working on that. With TSG Group's strength across Sarawak, what we will do is, in partnership with Cyclec Holdings and with Consulus Consultancy, we will be structuring the consortium in order to look at all the possibilities to activate green data centers, because that is a very important piece and it's part of a strategic piece in the Sarawak government. Now, one more thing. Just now we were sharing about the arts. And why the arts? I can tell you, remember I was sharing, I hate the word industry 4.0, right? So humanity 4.0 is also defined by culture, right? Any society that claims to be resilient can only do so with great culture. A sense of belief in yourself, great sense of values. And I'm sure you will agree with me, for those of us who were here earlier, you heard a very great presentation by Luna for Saradice Gallery. Can we give her a round of applause again? But there is a challenge. I can tell you this, you better buy Sarawakian art now, because it's going to be the next Vietnam. Many years ago, I went to Vietnam, and I saw the Vietnamese artists, in Hanoi, they were painting and all these things, and they were going for really very low price, And I said, wow, these are amazing art, but people were treating them like low cost. Later on, I found Ode to Art in this very building. They started featuring Vietnamese art. Within 2 years, a Vietnamese painting jumped from $1,000 to $100,000. Yeah, just because the power of Singapore arts industry. And you see, here's the thing. We know that Sarawakian art, as of now, is undervalued. Undervalued, huh? So you please get them before they all disappear, right? It's a good investment, resilient investment, yeah? But we need help. That's why I reached out to my friend, Colin Goh, and I asked him, right? Colin is like, he has the little black book of the whole of Singapore, right? So I said, Colin, can you help and advise, right? How can we, do this for the arts community in Sarawak, also have an impact for good? Because, there are many struggling artists. They are really amazing. And today we have an amazing, showcase, and Luna already shared there are 800 artists that Saradice Gallery has and promotes, right? And we actually have an artist here today with us, Gerald, your great poem. Thank you. Thank you again, yeah? So we are very happy to announce that DesignFutures is not just about, life cannot be just about making money, because you'll be a very sad person. There must be a soul, there must be a purpose, right? So we are also very happy to announce that we will have a partnership with Global Cultural Alliance, and I'd like to invite Edwin to share a bit about that partnership with us, so that we can talk about the great work that we will do together with GCA. Thank you.
Lawrence has been very, very inspiring and inviting in his first speech this evening. And I was thinking very hard, how do I gel the arts to his FEDS? I'm not F, I'm not E, I'm not D, I'm not S. So I thank him for connecting the arts and the hard facets of investment. So good evening, Mr. Lawrence Chong, Group CEO of Consulus, and Dato' Chris Chung, Group CEO of Saradice Group of companies, distinguished guests, partners, and friends, both old and newly made ones. On behalf of Global Cultural Alliance, or GCA, it is indeed an honor for us to work in partnership with Saradice to promote cross-border exchange between the arts and cultural industries of Singapore and Sarawak, and to be one of the projects that is launched today. This partnership is very much in line with GCA's mission, which is encompassed in the phrase, bridging borders, building communities, which, if I may add, is very much in line with Saradice Group's goals, one of the goals, which is developing communities. For those who may not be familiar with GCA, Global Cultural what? Please allow me to have a quick introduction of who we are. GCA was founded in 2014 as a wholly owned subsidiary of TRCL, or the Rice Company Limited, a charity committed to developing an inclusive society and positioning Singapore as a cultural hub for the exchange of ideas and shared experiences. This is done through conceptualizing and producing arts and cultural programs and platforms that range from webinars, talks, performances, and visual arts exhibitions. Over the past 8 years, since 2014, and even through the height of the pandemic, we have done projects in countries across Asia to the Americas, including Mexico, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand again, Hong Kong, and India, to name but a few. And just 2 weeks ago, GCA led a delegation to Malacca, on the invitation of a property and community developer, Hatton Group, perhaps you have heard of them, to explore opportunities within that historic city, while in the pipeline in the next year, a project in Hanoi to celebrate the 50th anniversary of bilateral ties between Singapore and Vietnam. As for myself, I'm Edwin, as you have heard. I'm privileged to serve as a board member of GCA. That's why I'm here. Even personally for me, GCA's collaboration with Saradise is exciting. Firstly, because I'm a trained civil engineer. I've been doing construction and engineering, which is one of Saradise Group's business as an infrastructure and real estate developer. That is close to my heart. Secondly, I've been a headhunter for the last 20 years. And although I'm not from Sarawak, I'm not a Sarawak headhunter. I strongly encourage you to check your head when you leave the room tonight. This partnership between Saradise is most opportune and a significant one, coming right at the time when the border restrictions are relaxing and we are beginning to travel more and more and be able to get to know one another in person. In this, the memorandum of agreement that GCA signed with Saradise earlier today to signify a Singapore-Sarawak collaboration is GCA's first memorandum of agreement for 2022 with a regional partner to engage in cross-cultural exchange. So thank you, Dato' Chris and Lawrence, for this very happy and significant occurrence. Singapore being a small country in a very, very big world, it is important for us to continually engage with our neighbors and make new friends even farther afield. It is through this engagement that we are able to broaden our worldview while at the right time engage in self-reflection through lessons learned from our encounters with those around us. In this, Sarawak is a place that is steeped in rich cultural and natural history. The vision which Dato' Chris has shared with us is truly an inspiring one, leveraging the tradition and the environment of the land, Tanah, and her people. It is a vision which those of us here in Singapore have much to learn from, and which I'm sure can help shape our own practice in the area of placemaking and living in harmony with the environment. Here, the arts and cultural practices are perhaps one of the most immediate, comfortable, and welcoming ways for people from different countries, communities, and cultures to get to know one another. Yes, as such, I am glad to share with you that GCA is pleased to host an exhibition of artworks from Saradise Gallery in August as part of its Bridging Borders Southeast Asia, the Malaysia edition 2022. The exhibition will be held at Gallery at 10 Square at Orchard Central. I think most of you know where Orchard Central is. If not, then come and see me. The exhibition will feature 11 works from artists in Sarawak, which depict various facets of life in that land. And for those of you who have yet to visit Sarawak, we hope that this exhibition will give you a glimpse of what lies ahead, as well as give us food for self-reflection. And Sarawak does not only serve Sarawak Kolomi. We also believe that the arts and cultural engagement is but the first step towards building close friendships between people and communities. Further exchange will certainly take place in the realm of trade and commerce between countries and peoples. And in this, with arts and culture offering the first step, a handshake to deeper engagement, or as we like to say, business with a cultural handshake. I wish you all here a wonderful evening ahead and a great partnership between our two communities and peoples to build a truly resilient future. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you. So as you can see, we are moving very fast because in August we will have the exhibition in Singapore, and that's a kickoff, and we hope that all of you can sign up on the trip to come to Sarawak and see for yourself what paradise is according to the Sarawakians. So I'd like you to see a video about DesignFutures
At a time of complex challenges, it is clear that a better future will not happen by default. Seeking to impact the world for good is easier said than done because good intentions are fragile. A better future calls for intentional systemic design and positive conditions. This is why we founded DesignFutures Venture. There is a rare opportunity to do this in Sarawak, a state in Malaysia that is harmonious, rich in diversity, and on the way to becoming the most sustainable hub in the region. DesignFutures seek to accelerate the future economy of Sarawak in partnership with the best minds and global capital of Singapore, with TSG the leading group in Sarawak involved in shaping future businesses. Guided by the 4 future trends identified by Consulus in its Future Resilience by Design framework, DesignFutures Venture will invest in and develop projects in food tech and sustainability to meet the challenges of food shortages, environmental tech to fight climate change, data-oriented projects to provide better jobs for future generations, space industry development so that the next generation has opportunities in the growing sector. A better future by design.
Okay, it gives me great pleasure to invite back our partners, my brother Dato' Chris, Sean, Melvin, Edwin, to come and remark this moment. And I think, yes, champagne is coming. And we invite all of you to join us in the toast. So grateful that all of you could be here with us today.
Once again, thank you. Congratulations, man.
Yes. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dato'? Thank you.
Yeah. Brother, you do it. Huh?
45 degree, you can just
45 degree.
Twist it. You're right.
Okay. Aim there, yeah.
Camera.
To the moon.
Yeah. I did better this time. At my wedding, I didn't do that well. Thank you. Okay, so dear friends, thank you. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sarawak is aware.
Ooha, okay. Ooha. So can we try the Sarawak cheer toast? How do you do it?
Okay, that's a practice round. One more time.
Oh, okay, practice now, okay. 1, 2, 3. Singapore version now. Okay, can Singapore version. Yam Sing. Okay, can. Okay, we will do it. Okay, yeah. One more. Yam Sing. Okay. Singapore version is a partnership. So that's our Sarawakian. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well
Yeah.
done. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you take a group picture? Yeah. Can we clear the glasses? Yeah, just there. Yeah. Can we clear the glasses? Oh, just hold on. Yeah. Okay, can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Without glass. One with glass, one without.
Okay. Can. We need one. Don't block the logo. Yeah. Yeah, the side. Yeah. Gavin, join us. Oh, we clear the glasses first. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Put it in.
Yeah, worry.
Cannot fit. Huh? Sorry? Sit down. Okay, do like that. Oh. Yeah, one with this, okay. Okay, now. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Thank you. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. On the way.
Yeah.
We are continuing. Have a good meal and enjoy. Someone was asking, where does the Consulus team come from? From which countries? So, in the following part of our program, you will get the answers. So we call the next segment of our Consulus night, where we will give you a part of our heart. And probably you can expect that we will start with a small presentation from Croatia. Okay, this was part of Croatian cultural heritage. But when regarding tourism, I have the honor to greet you in the name of Sarawak Trade and Tourism Office here in Singapore from Mr. Chu Changwan, because next Shape the World Summit will be in Sarawak. So welcome him with the applause. Okay, coming back to Croatia, we have prepared something. Obviously, you have seen that we are not professionals, but I'll ask my colleague Krešimir to give us a short intro.
Good evening, everyone. Hello to everyone. Are you enjoying your food? Yeah? The food is good? Yeah? Okay. I hope that our performance won't spoil this. Okay. This is Hrvoje, whom you already met. I am Krešimir. We are not from Tourist Board of Croatia, as you might have wrongly concluded from the video, but we are senior consultants at Consulus, based in Croatia. Croatia is a small country in Southeast Europe, but with a very long and rich tradition. It is dating it goes back way to 7th century. And even though due to this long tradition, we gained our independence only 30 years ago. We gained it, we won it actually in the war, homeland war, something similar that is happening at the moment in Ukraine. We will now actually sing a couple of songs, popular traditional songs of Croatia, to bring you flavor of our homeland. So we'll start with one of the songs that actually was written and composed during the war. From that period, many songs have been written in order to inspire, actually encourage, and raise spirits of people in difficult times. So we'll start with the first one.
Večeras sme dobri ljudi, nemojte ništa pitati. Neka suze tiho teku, pa će manje boljeti. Ne dirajte mi večeras uspomenu u meni. Ne dirajte mi ravnicu, jer ja ću se vratiti. Ne dirajte mi večeras uspomenu u meni. Ne dirajte mi ravnicu, jer ja ću se vratiti. Mene zovu moja polja, mene zovu tambure. Prije nego sklopim oči, da još jednom vidim sve. Ne dirajte mi večeras uspomenu u meni. Ne dirajte mi ravnicu, jer ja ću se vratiti. Još u sebi čujem majku, kako tužna govori. Kad se jednom vratiš, sine, ja ću te čekati. Ne dirajte mi večeras uspomenu u meni. Ne dirajte mi ravnicu, jer ja ću se vratiti.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You can follow the text on the screen.
For those who didn't notice, we were singing in Croatian, but we have also prepared the English translation for you, so you can follow and see what we are singing about. Okay.
Donovan, can we see this on the screen? The text. They don't see.
Okay, next song. Donovan. Another slide, Donovan.
Servus, dragi Zagreb moj, kaj se skrivaš medli toj, kada bi se nekaj sramil, i se nemaš sramit kaj, i sad sem tu, ipak sem tvoj. Servus, dragi Zagreb moj, i sad sem tu, ipak sem tvoj. Servus, dragi Zagreb moj, ti si lep još kak navek, i horvatski breg na breg. Zal kad ti se mene mami, ja sam tebi štel nazaj, i sad sem tu, ipak sem tvoj. Servus, dragi Zagreb moj, i sad sem tu, ipak sem tvoj. Servus, dragi Zagreb moj, mili Zagreb imam rad, i u megli belje sad. Pariz nema kaj ti maš, jer si lepi, jer si naš. I sad sem tu, ipak sem tvoj. Servus, dragi Zagreb moj, i sad sem tu, ipak sem tvoj. Servus, dragi Zagreb moj. What was that?
Okay, thank you. I hear you want more, okay? Okay. This was a song from our capital city called Zagreb. And now the next song is from Dubrovnik, a globally known city of Croatia with long tradition also and rich cultural heritage. Actually, Dubrovnik is listed on a UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites. So this one comes from Dubrovnik. It's a love song.
Usred tišine grada i usnule ljepote, tiha se čuje gitara, la muzika di note. Ako si pošla spavat, bila ti laka noć, družina naša s pjesmom zakanta će ti dom. Otvori, draga, prozor i slušaj naše note, o ljubavi ćemo pjevat, la muzika di note. Otvori, draga, prozor i slušaj naše note, o ljubavi ćemo pjevat, la muzika di note.
Okay. Thank you for this. And this is the last one, I promise. Okay. One more song, last one. This song is actually our unofficial anthem, and there cannot be practically any gathering or celebration in Croatia, like weddings, etc., that this song hasn't been played or sang. Okay.
Kad se sjetim, suza krene, zamirišu spomene svake stope rodnog kraja i narodnih običaja. Prepoznah ljepotu tvoju, što probudi ljubav moju. Kad sam s tobom, srce moje kuca jače, veliko
koje lijepa li si, Slavonijo zlatna ti si, Herceg Bosno, srce ponosno. Dalmacijo more moje, jedna duša, a nas dvoje, pozdrav liko, Velebita diko. Na, 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 na. Kad Neretva moru krene, ti se tada sjeti mene, mojoj pjesmi budi tema za sve one kojih nema. Ajde Istro i Zagorje, podignimo sve tri boje, zagrlimo se pred svima, neka vide da nas ima. Lijepa li si, Slavonijo zlatna ti si, Herceg Bosno, srce ponosno. Dalmacijo more moje, jedna duša, a nas dvoje, pozdrav liko, Velebita diko. Na, 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 na.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, it went well. Last time I was singing in front of the audience, it was on my wedding and I got stuck for life, so this went well.
Hello, everyone. I can see and I can hear that you are enjoying the company, the food, the drinks, and I'm very glad that you are doing that. At this point, we have another announcement. Are you ready for one more? Are you ready for one more announcement? A very short one, but it's a very important one for Consulus. At this point in time, we are going to pass the baton from our current chairman of the Consulus Network to our new chairperson in the next term. May I invite our current chairman, Stano, on stage. Stano, please. And where is our next chairperson? Is our next chairperson here? Stano, are you going to say something before I invite her on stage? Or him? Or, let's have your guess.
I think I'd like to invite you, Helena. If you are not far away.
Our next chairman for Consulus Network is none other than Helena Pham. Helena, on stage, please. As you know, Helena is the MD of our Consulus Vietnam office, and she has been with Consulus for a long time, so she will introduce herself a little bit more afterwards.
So dear friends, I would like to call for your attention because this is a special moment for us every year when we hand over the chairmanship. Or now I should say the chairpersonship, or even better, you will understand. Helena, this is truly an emotional moment for me. A year flew by and I have to hand over to you the chair, to you who I voted for already in 2021. A year flew by and I am about to free the chair for you, who became the visible sign of representation of the entire Consulus global network. A visible sign of an always more visible network of purposeful people. Here I wanted to ask the other Consulites to stand up, but this happened already with Lawrence, so I won't repeat this trick. Look, Helena, there is this crew which is sitting now, and there are many more of them around the globe. I know this is a special moment to you. The more since the past year was a year of strong emotions, I guess. The doubled multicultural wedding with Rob. Where is Rob? Where is he? Over there, with Rob. Great to have you with us, Rob, really. New projects, the COVID crisis, thanks God, somehow fading out. Helena, you are the partner of Consulus, the director of Consulus Vietnam, wife, daughter. I am sure people around you will create the right conditions for you in this. I promise this from my end. Leave this chairwomanship in the same way you do everything, with joy, excitement, dedication, authenticity, and energy which counter-distinguish you. So please accept and take in custody the plaque I will hand over to you, and have it always at sight. Let me wish you what you already do. Shine bright. Maybe you do not see this, but this is our chairperson plaque with the Consulus will statement, which is the pledge to make the world better. I won't read it, it's not the right moment, but I would like to hand this over to you, Helena, now. I can hold it and you can say your words.
Thank you, Stano, for the beautiful words and for your encouragement, and especially for the chair. I feel very empowered. Standing here, I'm very honored to be selected, trusted by the team to be the first chairwoman of the Consulus Global Network for this term, 2022-2023. I believe I would do a great job thanks to all the foundational great work done by you, by Jim, the first chair, the second chairman, and now Shiraz, over Zoom, for being an incredible first chairman of the global network. With all the Consulites in the network, all the beautiful gifts that you have experienced, some of it, only some of it, join us more to enjoy more. I believe I'm committed and I'm ready to bring the best of me and the best of all the Consulites in the network and all the change makers around the world to build, to shape a resilient, impactful future for one and for all of us. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hi everyone again. It's me back again. I am sure you get a bit tired of looking at me like so many times. So what I'm going to do is something that is worse than giving a speech. So if I have your attention, I'm going to do something that is far worse than giving a speech. Are you guys ready? Yes, thank you, Edwin. You are my long-term supporter. Thank you so much. Even an audience of one is good enough. Thank you. And over there, thank you so much. What is worse than giving a speech? It is to give a humorous speech. And I took this challenge. So when I told my colleague that I'm going to give a speech, you know what they did? They laughed. And I haven't even given a speech yet. Thanks for the vote of confidence, guys. Now I'm going to, knowing that we have quite a lot of foreigners in our midst, I'm going to talk about something that is very Singaporean. So, I'm going to do some pop quiz. And if you can answer the question, you get a heart all the way from Croatia. Yeah, limited edition. So, the question goes, what is one place that truly represents Singapore? Anyone? What is one place that when you go to that place, yes, that is Singapore? Malayan, good try. Anyone else? MBS, yes, that's good try too. Anyone else? Hin Hin, Changi Airport, good try. Okay, the thing is that it truly represents Singapore, but rarely visited by tourists. Ah, that's the hint. Okay, before I reveal, Jeffrey got the answer, but don't tell anybody yet. And this place must actually goes into the itinerary of our visitor. I wonder why they don't go there. Hin hin, huh? Inge Purenge. Anyone? Inge Purenge means where? Jasimi means what to eat. Makanda sedap means very nice food. So, where to go for very nice food in Singapore? Hawker center. Yes, guys, you got it. Who got it? Who's the one? Okay, you got a heart. No? Okay, you can have it later. So, you're probably wondering, why, especially for the locals, why am I talking about hawker center now? And we are at this premium restaurant having the premium food on the 69th floor of Swiss Hotel. But I think hawker center deserves some recognition, right? So to our foreign friends, when you hear the word hawker, what comes to your mind? Anyone? Foreign friends only. What does hawker means to you, Gino? Chili crab, okay. Wrong answer. Nah. Okay, hawker from the dictionary. If you look at the dictionary online, hawker means someone who will sell the food to you, go to you and sell the food, right? Because they are hawking and looking for their customers. Correct, like Edwin says, and with a right action too. But that is in the past. from our history book, you see these people doing the cut and selling the what is that noodle? Okay, the noodles, all kinds of noodles. And for me, one of my best memory is my grandmother bringing me to eat the Nyao Chu Sai, okay, which is another kind of noodle. Bi Thai Bang, yes. But now, the hawker is no longer hawking for customer. So who are the hawkers now? Tell me. You know, you and I are the hawkers because we have to go very far to look for our favorite food, right? Let's say if you want your favorite nasi lemak, where do you go? Adam Road, yes. For me, I go to Changi village for the very good nasi lemak, sedap one. And if you want to go for luscious chicken rice, where do you go? Tian Tian, Maxwell Road. Yes, we have to join the long queue at Maxwell Road. And if you want to, let's say, okay, one thing for the visitor, they must be catching no ball because we talk about Maxwell Road, Changi Village. So guys, please help our foreign friends. Tell them, bring them along. Tell them to throw the GPS out of the window. Why? Do you know the Hill Street Char Kway Teow? Is it at Hill Street? Now it's at Bedok. Yeah, that's why throw out the GPS. And where is that famous Tua Payoh rojak? Anyone? Oh, Airport Road. Hey, you got all the right answer. For our foreign friends, just to let you know that the Tua Payoh to Bedok is at least 30 minutes by car and 1 hour by walking. So, about 2 years ago, those team from UNESCO must have gotten lost in Tua Payoh. But then, you know, they awarded Singapore hawker food, what? The Intangible Cultural Award. Do you remember? They call it the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage Award. And we won that in 2020. So they say it's intangible. That means cannot see, cannot smell, cannot taste. What? So it's intangible? Don't worry, guys. I'm going to let you feel it, taste it, smell it right here, right now with some of my insights. So, of course, we start with ABC, right? The basic of hawker center. So, you know, Jim is very attentive, thank you. So he must be wondering, what is this ABC of hawker center? Let me tell you. A for hawker center, of course, good. It's called Esai. Esai means good. So the food is clean. Don't worry, eat your heart out. B, what is B? Anyone? B is buay pai. That means not bad. You know, the hawker will, you know, fend off some maybe insects like Sean was talking about to make sure that the food looks clean. And C, what is C? Anyone? Local especially? Chin chai, yes, chin chai means you close one eye. Even if you see a bit of housefly sampling the food for you, never mind, the food must taste good. Do you want me to go to D? D, I don't think you want me to go there. Maybe after the meal. But actually, you know, we Singaporeans don't care about this ABC. Most of us don't care. Why? Recently, I went to my favorite prata store and I taste the food. Uncle, how come your prata tastes different this time? Did you change your recipe? The uncle was so angry, so proud and angry. Hey, of course not. I have this recipe for years, from generation to generation. And then the wife told me, hey, COVID, he washes his hand now. The other day, I brought some of my foreign colleagues to the hawker center. And then one of them say, hey, I know all the food items in the hawker center. I thought, hey, you just here only a few days. How do you learn all the food here? So he demonstrated for me. And we, of course, went to the Chairperson, which is the mixed rice store. And he pointed to the chicken cutlet. He said, 这个, which means this one. Then he pointed to the spinach, 这个, which means this one. And he pointed to the omelette, 这个, wow, which means this one again. And then we saw this tofu. Did he say 这个? Which means this one? No. He said 那个 because it's further away. Don't be mistaken. Our hawker food is not so simple. For example, do you know the coded name of our drinks? Michael Jackson. What is Michael Jackson? Anyone? The drinks, Michael Jackson. So, Stano, when I tell you the drinks is called Michael Jackson, what do you think of? Something to do with black and white. Not bad. It is soya milk with chin chow, which is a black jelly. You deserve a prize. How about takyu? Anyone? Takyu means soccer. Milo. You know all the answers. Okay, this one difficult. What is the drink called clementi? Clementi. Clementi is the name of one of the estates in Singapore. So what is clementi? If you tell the hawker clementi, they will bring you this drink. Anyone? Clementi is lemon tea. Okay, and this one a little difficult for the younger people. Kapo, which means frog. What drink is called kapo? What drink has the name of a frog? Anyone? Kapo, what is that? Long time ago, there's a drink called kikapo. So they should make it a short form called kapo. And then to complicate matters for a lot of us, you have coffee and tea called siu dai, ga dai, and everything is, So Jim is looking at me in amazement, right? But hey, that is the beauty of our hawker culture. Our hawker culture is a big melting pot whereby we can appreciate, accept, and applaud each other's culture. In Singapore, we have the Malay, Chinese, Indian, and the others. So if you go to the hawker center, you can experience all the culture right there. How else can you learn another language like Maceh, Sikit, Assam Sikit? Or how else can I learn my Malay? Or even Indian? The hawker center, dotted all around Singapore. Maybe some of them are dotted wrongly because it doesn't show correctly on the map. Is the ingredient that makes Singapore so vibrant. Locals, do you agree? So here's a food for thought. The next time you go to a hawker center, whether you're a local or foreigner, don't just think about how it impacts your stomach. think about how it has strengthened our social fabric. Our hawker center has indeed united us as a nation for close to 100 years. And we have to thank UNESCO for recognizing it. So it's time we recognize it too. So thank you so much. I hope you do enjoy a little bit of my, local jokes. And perhaps for the foreigner, you got to know a little bit about Singapore. And if you are if you are a local sitting next to a foreigner, please bring them to a hawker center. Thank you. At this point in time, we are going to get everybody to get into action. Okay, so get yourself ready and we'll do some action shortly. Thank you so much.
Hello. Hope you're all enjoying your meals. Whoa. Table 6. Cheers to table 6. So who wants to learn how to dance a Lebanese dance? Yay! Okay, so I am Caroline Haddad from Lebanon, and tonight I will be teaching you the origins of the Lebanese folkloric dance called the dabke, and moreover, we will learn how to dance it together. So, what does the word dabke means? So anybody knows? I doubt it. Dabke means to stomp. Okay, so we're gonna stomp the feet tonight, okay? So that's the main origin of the word. So some history behind it. So, one story says that the dabke originated from the Phoenicians. So you know the Phoenicians are the initial Lebanese people. Okay, so the Phoenicians are the ones who used to dance the folkloric dance, and it came from them. That's the first story. The second story, so Lebanese homes used to have their roofs made from mud, okay? So this mud, when the weather changes, it changes, it requires stomping, to fix it again, to make it stable. So everyone in the village used to come around, hold hands, and all of them would stomp the mud on the roofs to make it good again. Later on, people created a new concept to fix the roofs, but people used to come together and join forces to celebrate the finishing of fixing the roofs of the village. And since then, this dance has become like a symbol of unity among the people and a way to celebrate together. So in weddings, in any event, they come along, they cross hands and do the dance. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to cross hands and dance together the dabke as a symbol of our unity and celebration, okay? So the dabke has been a symbol of unity in Lebanon, as I said before. How to dabke? So we have 6 steps that we're going to do together, okay? Step 1, so the thing is done like everyone is standing next to each other and holding hands, okay? So we're going to go left. Okay, or right. Let's go right. Okay, so I'm gonna take my left foot and cross it over my right foot and go bend a bit and go back straight. And we do that twice. So again, we take our left foot, cross it over to the right, bend and go back straight. Then with the right foot, we're gonna stomp. So we do a small kick and stomp. So it goes like this, and we stomp. Like this, and we stomp, okay? I'm gonna show you a Lebanese wedding, okay, where it's a very old movie where they were dancing the dabke, and then we're gonna do it together. One more tip. So when we hold hands, we hold it as such. So the one on the left will hold the hand of the person on the right from behind, okay? So this would be the wedding. Is there any voice? So this is a Lebanese traditional wedding from old times, and they are dancing the dabke for the groom and the bride. Some clapping. we're going to stop here and dance it ourselves. So I need some volunteers to rehearse some steps on the stage, and then we're going to put the music on and dance it together. Someone from table 6? Yeah, a volunteer from every table, please. Come on. Jim, would you like to dance? Welcome, welcome. Who's dancing from here? Do I have a yes? Stano, would you dance? Yay! So, I should be at the end, so you can go in between, okay? Okay, we're gonna fit, we're gonna fall. Okay. So we're gonna rehearse the steps, and then I want all of you to do the same down there. Okay, we're gonna go across the room. Okay, across the room. So the first step, we said this foot goes here, we bend, we go back up, then we repeat another time. Then with the same foot, we do a small kick and we stomp. Okay? Okay, let's. Okay, wait. I'll go like this. We'll go like a circle. Okay. 1, 2, stomp. This way. Can we have some music? Next movie. The music on. There's a video for a song, so we could dance on it. Okay. So everyone who would like to join us, start down. We can start. And we wait.
راجع يتعمق راجع لبنان راجع بتحل الأخضر أكثر مكان هلا يابا راجع لبنان هلا يابا راجع لبنان راجع لبنان راجع بتحل وأفضل أكثر مكان هلا يابا راجع لبنان هلا يابا راجع لبنان ويا جدود اللبناني شدي معنا هو عالدبكي وعالغني رجعنا ونحنا طفينا النير الله معنا دبكتنا انتني وعونة اخوان هلا يابا راجع لبنان هلا يابا راجع لبنان راجع يتعمر راجع لبنان راجع بتقلب وافضل اكثر مكان راجع يتعمر راجع لبنان راجع بتحل وافضل اكثر مكان هلا يابا راجع لبنان ضد العدوان. هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان. هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان.
راجع راجع يتعمر راجع لبنان. راجع متحل وأفضل أكثر مكان.
هو راجع راجع يتعمر راجع لبنان. راجع يتحل الأرض أكثر مكان.
هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان.
هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان.
هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان.
هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان. رجعنا الساعد بالساعد مشبوك بليل.
رجعنا الساعد بالساعد مشبوك بليل.
ومشينا مشي مارد يضحك للريح.
ومشينا مشي مارد يضحك للريح.
وطلقنا مكرم الواعد بعد تلاويح. بشر بالطيف الوادي صوت الحردان. هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان. هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان.
راجع راجع يتعمر راجع لبنان. راجع متحل وأفضل أكثر مكان.
هو راجع راجع يتعمر راجع لبنان. راجع لبحل وأرضى أكثر مكان.
هلا يابا هلا يابا راجع لبنان.
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 Thank you, thank you. Well done. Well done. You qualified.
Where is the bride and the groom?
Hello, mic test. All right, so now that the evening is coming to an end and everyone is aptly drunk, I've been saboed by my good friend Gino. He asked me to sing a song, and the table 6 will be singing along. This song is actually a million dreams, and I think that everybody here is like a dreamer in a good sense. So I just like to dedicate this song to everyone here. Consulus. You know, I feel that sometimes when your dreams take really long to happen, you're tempted to give up, but I'm so grateful that Consulus has not given up, and that's why we have what we have today. Yeah, and here's to another 100 years of dreaming. Yeah, so let's start. Okay. I close my eyes and I can see the world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. For the world we're gonna make. Thank you. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. We can live in a world that we design. Be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Night, I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A the world we're gonna make. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I have not sang since 2019. Yeah, but for you guys, thank you, Consulus.